and he will rule Nigeria, be president of the country. And I saw this tape, he showed it to me, and he said, look, everybody was talking. He said the minute he issued that prophecy, he was supposed to stay till the next night. He left Nigeria that night because he didn't know whether they'll come and carry him to lock him up or something like that. And he reminded me of that, and he said, look, that Obasanjo is there by divine orchestration. And so all your anti-Nigeria, anti-Obasanjo's positions can never amount to anything. And I advise you strongly to go on up and be with this man and stop attacking him and the Nigerian state in articles and so on and so forth. Because I've been getting reports that that's what you've been doing. I said, thank you very much, sir, but I don't agree. He said, it's better, and I remember the words he used, it's better for your health if you do that, if you listen to me. You won't die, but it's better for your health. It's very interesting. And he called me and my wife, because, you know, he's called me with saboteurs. I said, thank you very much, sir, but I'll continue. The struggle continues, that Nigeria is not a state. We'll fight the state. And Obasanjo is the living epitome of the state. He's our enemy. I said, okay. I said, fine. Do you know what happened to me after that? Within the next 3 weeks, well, within 2 weeks, I had an accident. I was driving along a beach road with my car, Mercedes 500 SL, speeding with the roof off. I had an accident. The car rolled over. I almost died. Not a scratch on me. The car was a write-off. A week later, a few days later, I was driving my wife's car on another road. I had another accident. The car rolled over. I almost died. Not a scratch on me. And then a week after that, I fell ill. I was sick. I had to go to the hospital for about 2 weeks or whatever it is. And he didn't come to see me in the hospital. He sent to me. He said, look, I told you. Stop all this nonsense. So that is when I stopped to say, look, there's something about this. And then the other thing he told me was this. He said, look, when you get to Nigeria, see the man, talk to the man and see what you feel. You may change your mind. I said, I won't see him. I came back to Nigeria when I eventually, and I saw the man. And then the president himself said something to me which completely blew my mind and which jolted me. And I fell in love with him from that point. And I fell in love with the Nigerian state again from that point. Back to the conservative Femi in terms of the Nigerian state that I've been brought up to know and brought up to love. I told him, I said, we do not believe in Nigeria anymore because of the things that the Nigerian state has done to our people in the southwest. We believe in establishing an Oduduwa republic. And nothing can make us. And he said, why? And I said, because certain elements in the north believe that they own Nigeria and they were born to rule and we will not accept it. He said, why do you say that? Do you think Abacha didn't afflict the north as well? Do you think northerners did not suffer under him as well? But you're wrong. But you're only looking at it from your own narrow perspective. And that the most important thing is to forgive. Even if you are right, forgive. Not only that it's in our religious, the Lord demands for us to, one, forgive and to start again and to try to, ensure that the right thing is done. And that Nigeria will stand, Nigeria will not break, and learn to love the Nigeria that you once loved, that your father fought so hard for and believed so much in. And don't make the mistake that Abacha represents the North, because Abacha made people in the North suffer as well. And it sets off a process in me. I started rethinking my views, and so I've always seen him as the person that has made me fall in love with the Nigerian state again. And of course, when you fall in love passionately. And I'll look at some of the things I wrote and said at that time. I said, this clearly, the president said to me, he says, look, you are completely wrong, you're talking rubbish. And God will touch you and change you. I said, amen, sir. And God touched me and changed me. And I completely fell in love with the Nigerian state again.
I think to just maybe add another angle to Charlie Boy's question in terms of asking you, why you're so passionate about the president. I just want to look at it from another angle. You are the special advisor on police. But sometimes one wonders where your job starts and ends. And where that of the Minister of Information starts and ends. Because I think we get...
Why should it start and end anywhere? You think what?
You especially the controversial aspects of the federal government, you seem to handle more of those issues.
Well, mine is a very peculiar office and a peculiar job, a very peculiar schedule of duties. And basically, what it says and what it does is that it gives me the power to comment on any issue at all that is in the public realm, and also to speak the mind of the president on all these matters. And what you need for that is two things. One, you need to have the absolute confidence and trust of Mr. President himself, because it's such a privilege to even have access to him as much as I do. You need to understand him, you need to know him, so that when you speak, you're speaking from an informed position. And he needs to trust you, absolutely. And then secondly, you need to be able to up and say, look, I'm ready to comment on any issue that touches and concerns my boss. My terms of reference, my schedule of duties uses the words join issues with the critics of government, the enemies of government, and defend the president. That's my job, that's what I do. I must defend him, I must defend his policies, I must defend his vision, I must defend everything about him, nationally and internationally. So it gives a lot of scope and a lot of power. You have a Minister of Information who picks and chooses his own battles and has his own style. And he's a very close friend of mine, and we work closely together.
I don't think I can recall any battles that he has.
Well, he has his own style. He has his own style. Let me put it like that. And like I said, we're very close. We're very good friends. And I must say that he's effective in his own way. Mine has a slightly different emphasis. And you also have a very distinguished Renioyu, distinguished lady. She's doing a great job as well. Highly respectable journalist, and she's encouraged me endlessly. Then you also have who has just well, he was on board before, then he went to be chairman of NDDC. My big brother Oyama Ugochukwu has come back to the villa now. He's senior specialist on public communications. He's also making his own contribution. So we all work together, and I think the more the merrier. We need to, like we said earlier, maybe we're not getting the message across about these wonderful things that this government is doing. MDs are some very close friends of mine, and I always tell them, in my view, we didn't have banks, and we don't in Nigeria. So when Soludo came in and insisted on consolidation, larger banks, you'll be able to borrow without too much stress or wahala at low interest rates. That's what this has achieved. You see, and what that means is this: if you have an idea, a vision, you want to establish something, you get your feasibility study, you go to them, because they have the strength, they can give you the money at low interest rates. What happens today? People will have a vision, they will have an idea, which if you take it to any other country that is debt, they'll say, we buy it, we'll give you the money at 1% interest long term. Here you take it, they'll just laugh at you, say, where's your certificate of occupancy? Even if you bring that one, we're not interested in this thing. Banks are supposed to help people. And that is why in our country, in this country, up until very recently, you have a lot of people whose visions and whose vision has been shattered because they have not been able to raise the resources and the funding to support them and lift them up.
Live their dream.
You've hit the nail on the head. We need